This is a race at Summit Point in the Formula V using the iRacing AI roster. I started out in second, used about 15% throttle and dumped the clutch. Shifted into third at about 45 miles per hour. Shifted into fourth at about 82. I've been using Gianni Lutzu's coaching for the last couple of weeks, and he identified my biggest problem of why I was not achieving my optimum performance was that I was releasing the brake too soon. I wasn't trail braking all the way to the apex. That last 5 or 10% of the braking, I was just releasing the brake suddenly, coasting for about 15 feet, and then getting back on the gas and fighting understeer on exit. So he gave me the instructions of the efforts to try to change that, and I've been practicing a lot for the last 2 weeks. I'm still about half a second slower than Gianni, so I wanted to test to see how I would do with the distractions of traffic and see how I would perform while I was having to change my inputs given traffic and cars around me, and see if I would be able to maintain my good braking technique while under pressure. Obviously, I did pretty good on the first couple laps. I've built up quite a bit of space here at a 1.6, 1.7 second advantage. Here's the pack behind me. They're about 1.8 seconds behind me at this point. The number 7 car will be the car that challenges me later on as I make a few mistakes. He basically will be the man to beat. That's Drew. I've got a 2.1 second lead at this point on lap 3. So the first 2 laps I built up quite a gap. Now I start making mistakes. I just made a mistake in turn 5. The gap's fallen down to 1.6 seconds, 1.5. So Drew's gaining on me now. Derek's going to challenge Drew. Interesting, in most cases, the inside line has the advantage. They've chiseled the gap down to 1.7 seconds now. Well, back up to 1.8, 1.7. So I'm holding my own at this point, but now I start making a lot of mistakes. Yeah, okay. Held the brakes too long, was able to regain control, but I lost a lot of time there. Now I'm only a second ahead. Drew's now in my draft, so I'm a cooked duck at this point. Here he comes. Down to a 0.2 second gap. I held him off in turn 1. do turn 5 at my best, but okay. But here is my big mistake. I let him get his nose under my car on turn 7. So now not only am I in trouble with Drew, but Derek is close behind now. He's going to use the draft to overtake me on this straightaway. And now I make an even bigger mistake here. I go off track on the exit, go wide. Almost hit Derek. And now the pack is really going to be right on. I'm going to be right in the middle of the mix. Big mistake. Looks like 2 cars are going to get by me. Able to get back 1 position. All right, I'm in 4th place now. Here's a cockpit view. A little bit quicker than Chris here is, so I have a little bit of an issue getting close to him. I want to try to pass him at the right moment. Trying to get the perfect gap here as I enter the long straightaway. Too much of a gap and you won't overtake properly, or you'll be side by side with him into 1. If you got too little of a gap, the same problem will happen. You got to have about a 2-car length gap here as you come on the exit. And I make a mistake and go wide, so unable to make the pass attempt. Still in his draft, so we're going to get some pretty good speed here at the end of the straightaway. I think we'll get up to 101 miles an hour. Overcooked the tires, locked up the right front tire. Now I'm in 5th position. Mike's ahead of me. I know enough about Formula V racing, though, not to worry. 5th position is not a problem if you've got the speed. Just don't make any more mistakes. You can do a little bit of a dive bomb going into turn 5, but sometimes it doesn't work. There's nobody challenging behind me, so I'm pretty much worried about the car ahead. This time I do a perfect overtake. At the start finish. You can see him in my mirror. I'm clear of him now, but I don't know whether he's going to dive bomb on turn 1 or not. Depends. I locked up my right front tire again. There he comes. All over, same as the last lap. I'm using 67.3 brake bias. Probably could have avoided that lockup if I reduced my brake bias a bit, but I think 67.3 is ideal for when you're not making a mistake. Here we go. Let's see if we can do it again. Turn 5. Yeah, made it stick that time. All right, on to number 3 position. Let's see if we can catch that pack of 3 ahead of me. They've got a full 1.1 second advantage on me. I'm not in the draft yet. If I'm able to catch him, it'll be because I do a really good job coming through this turn 1. Or last turn, I should say. And I do. gaining on them down the straight, and now I'm in their draft. I'm at 100 miles an hour now. 101. All right, I'm on them now. I'm in the pack. Now I've got Derek and Chris. Chris is the slower car, but he's ahead of Derek. Side by side, going into the downhill chute. See if I can pass on the inside here. Yep. I'll stay on Derek's right-hand tire, and Chris will be right behind me, but can't overtake. I actually make a bump into Derek. No harm done, but slowed me down. All right, perfect timing on passing Derek. White flag. You can still see him in the mirror. We're side by side. But the inside line, if you do it right, is the fast way. And I did that corner pretty good. Now I'm not going to be able to pass Drew here. All I want to do is stay about 2 car lengths behind him going through the last corner. So I want to keep the other guys behind me so they don't interfere. Did that corner pretty good. Now, I didn't hold the trail braking long enough there, but I'm still on his tail, so no harm done. Not enough gap. I don't want to be quite this close. There we go. That's perfect. If we can maintain this going through this corner, I've got him. Here we go. Perfect pass if it works. It's going to be a photo finish. And it is. I've got about 1.5 feet on it.